Welcome to my apiary. I've got my melter all warmed up. I've got all my wax in there. I've got the dirty wax and the cappings wax all in there. And now I'm going to start to pour it off from the mid tap. I've got my lovely wife out here helping me. She's kind of interested to see how this goes. I don't think she's been involved in this process before. So we will show you and her at the same time. I've had to move the melter out from the wall a bit so I could get to the mid tap here. I've put the fitting on the end to direct the wax down into the plastic mold here. And it is right full. It is right full because I put all of my dirty wax in there and then I filled it right up with water. Temperature is running 85°C right now. That's plenty warm. Wax will be melted at 75. So without further ado, I'm going to get my strainer and we'll just open this up and see what happens. Okay, this is a kind of a crappy old strainer I use to just get any chunks out of there that might come out of the pipe. And let's not forget that we're beyond the food production here. This is not human consumption stuff. This is just wax. So let's see what we've got. I might have to dig it out. The wax may be solidified in that pipe. I think that's going to be necessary. Sometimes you can use a heat gun here to melt that wax. Running the jacket hotter would help alleviate this problem. And your danger is that you can have hot wax come whistling out of here right away. Kind of like that. Get this back on quickly. That looks really nice. A little bit of junk coming out of there. You can see how beautifully clean yellow that wax is. There's still some junk coming out. Fill it about that full. It gets a bit unwieldy if you fill it right up. Okay, so walk back there and I'm going to carry this tray over there. You can watch me do this as well. So the strainer full of gunk, I can put straight back in there. And this is the part that's probably the most dangerous part. You just have to make sure you don't catch on anything and get that hot wax. You spill it on yourself, it sticks. We put cardboard on top and under to moderate the cooling. If you allow the outside of that wax to cool more quickly, then when the inside cools, the whole thing will crack. It just doesn't make as nice a product it's not as nice for handling and moving around. This stuff will be sold right away, so I'll want to take it to the customer in a nice block that's easy to handle. So we'll get another one, and we'll do that again. Lots of junk coming out of there. There's a lot of junk floating on the wax in the melter. So as full as I'm making these containers, these bricks will be probably 20 to 25 pounds. And you can do a second pour on these once you get all this slum out, clean the machine out. You can melt it again with some fresh water and get it even cleaner. Splat. Okay, here we go again. And as I said before, I don't know where the water to wax transition is. So there's a chance that I could be pouring out some water here. I mean, we can obviously see that it's wax, but it seems to me that the water level is below the tap because it was wax coming out immediately. But there sure is a lot of slum floating. Well, you know what I didn't do? It's floating because I didn't put my strainer in there. This is working pretty good. We'll put that strainer in there for our last pour tomorrow. A bit less slum this time. And I've only got 5 of these. So once I fill 5, then I wait for a day. See, this one visibly looks cleaner than the last. I'm not really sure what went on there. I like to maintain a good steady flow, a good swift flow, because the wax will cool and solidify in the strainer if you go too slowly. You keep that hot wax coming out of that pipe, and it keeps the strainer nice and warm. Splat. And I think at this point I'm going to put that strainer in there. This is a messy, messy, messy job. That's 3 messies. So you know it's serious. If it's 3 messies, it's serious. So there's that pipe there. So the water jacket circulates in this tower, and then when it convects from there, the element is directly below that pipe at the bottom. So the hot water will circulate, and that's part of the efficiency of this machine. So this thing has to have a break in it like that to go down. And so it does, and it works great. You see that nice clean wax bubbling up through there. I don't know how much slum is in here. Not sure how far I can push it down. This lid is very heavy. I'll try to set the lid on it. And this tank is very well insulated. So it holds the heat a long time after it's turned off. And the lid is insulated too, is why it's so heavy. Okay, I'm going to pour a bit more. I've got some smaller containers here. Oh, my strainer. What am I going to do with the wax? I'll sell most of it, and I use some of it for rewaxing my frames. So I get wax microfiltered from a guy here in the province, and so then I sell that wax as a very clean wax product. And you know, I don't use filtered wax for my frames, but I'll just use something like this. And I find that I bought an electric skillet for this purpose, and I find that works really great for the waxing of the frames process. I tried a crock pot, it works, but it doesn't work nearly as well. Temperature control in a crock pot is extremely difficult. The wax was either not warm enough or it was way too hot. And it doesn't melt a brick very well because a crock pot only heats around the sides and not the bottom. And the skillet is the opposite. It heats on the bottom, plus it has a thermostatic control. And so I can regulate the temperature of the wax quite accurately. I found that works really well. Plus it's a little, the skillet is kind of a square, flat thing and nicer to roll the roller. Get it in there. Crockpot's not quite as convenient that way, I find. A lot of people use crockpot, that's fine. Use whatever you want to use. You don't have to do it the way I do it. Sometimes I can tell you why I do it the way I do it, and sometimes I can't. Well, one more. It seemed like we were getting to the end of it. So now the junk that was floating on the wax is starting to come out. I'm going to get more yet. So what I'm running against here is I'm pouring the wax down to this level. I can't pour more than that, of course. And I don't know how much wax is below this tap. So this is going to take another day because I'm going to have to fill this with water again and then drain the water down until I get to the wax that's floating on top of that. The strainer is slowly going down, very slowly. I don't have another cardboard ready, so I'll put this one under it. I did not expect to get this much out of there, but we'll keep going. We got 4 more of these small trays. I'm surprised there was that much slum come up above that strainer. Imagine it'll do that all day long though. Of course, I have been dumping slum above the strainer the whole time, haven't I? I'll be just recycling it. Okay, I don't know if you can see. I think that's the hole right there. About halfway down that mid tap. Well, now I need to fill that with water. Again. I'll leave it at that for now because this takes quite a long time. And we'll do some more tomorrow.